Hello everyone, how you doing? In today's video I'm going to show you how you can create this cool atmosphere effect. Of course, this is not physics based, it's not realistic, but it's something that you can use in a cool project. So if you go here, we have a planet and we have an atmosphere around the planet. You can enter this atmosphere and of course we are seeing the sky from the ground now. We have some horizon colors, as you can see. Let me go out here and we have another planet here with another type of atmosphere. Let's enter this and there you go, we have another color for the sky, another color for the horizons here, as you can see. And if I select the planet here and the atmosphere, if I rotate this around the sun, as you can see, we have the correct light direction. There we go. So that's what I'm going to show you today, but first, if you do like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe so you don't lose any new content. Let's start. To create the atmosphere, I created a third-person template. So first, let's create a new scene. Let's go to File, New Level, and Empty Level, and let's hit Create. There we go. Now let me save the scene, so Ctrl S to save. Let's name this Space, and let's save in the third-person folder in the Maps folder. Let's save. There we go. Now we need a sun in the scene. So for that, let's go to Place Actors here. If you're not seeing this window, just go to Window here and then Place Actors. So let's go to Place Actors, then Shapes, and let's drag a sphere into the scene. So here in the details, I'm gonna reset the location here to be at the 0, 0, 0. There we go. And then for the scale, I'm gonna put 500. There you go. Now let's create a material for the sun. So let's go to Content here, and then let's create a new Materials folder. Let's open this and let's create a sun folder. There you go. Let's open this and let's create a material. Let's call this M Sun. Let's open this material and this will be really simple. So let's select this, go to the shading model here. Let's change it to unlit because this will not be affected by light. And let's create a simple color here. So let's hold 3 on the keyboard and left click to create a constant tree vector. And let's change the color for a yellow one. There you go. And to change the intensity of the sun, let's multiply this color with an intensity value. So let's hold S on the keyboard, left click to create a scalar parameter. Let's call this sun intensity. And for now, let's put 100 here. Let's connect to B and then the results into the emissive color. There you go. Let's apply, save, and let's close this. Let's create a material instance of that material. So in that material, right click and create material instance. I'm gonna name this MI for material instance. And let's put the material instance into the sun here. Just drag into the sun. There you go. Now let's create a planet. So for the planet, I'm actually going to use another sphere, one with more triangles. So for that, let's go to the content here. Let's create a new folder for the meshes. There you go. And to get this sphere, actually it is part of the Unreal. So to access that, let's go to settings here in the content browser and let's enable show engine content. Let's go to engine folder here, then content, and here let's search for editor sphere. This one is what I'm gonna use. So let's drag this into the meshes here, the folder that we created, and copy here. Don't hit move, just select copy here. There we go. Now we can go to meshes here and yep, we have the mesh here. Let me clear the search and let's go to settings and disable show engine content so we don't see this engine folder all the time here. Now let's rename this I'm gonna name it SM for static mesh, then a sphere, and this will be the planet. So let's drag this into the scene here. I'm gonna rename now this instanced one to planet. There we go. Let me reset the transform. Let me put a little bit to the side here. So let's push in the X here, and for the scale I'm gonna put like 100. There we go. But as you can see, we don't have any lightning in this sphere. That's because we don't have any lights in the scene. So let's add a directional light. Let's go to place actors again, then lights, and let's add a directional light into the scene. Let me reset this. And as you can see, we lost all the bloom that we have in the sun. That's because we don't have a post-process volume in the scene, so the exposure are being automatic. So let's go to place actors, volumes, let's search for the post-process volume here. Again, I'm gonna reset the location to be at the center here. Then here in the details of the post process here, let's go to exposure and let's enable min and max, and let's set both to 0. And for this to take effect, we need to make this volume infinite to all the scene. So let's search here for bounds, and you find this infinite extend unbound. So let's enable that, and there we go. Now we have all the effects again. Let's go to the directional light. Let me clear this, and I'm gonna put the rotation into 0 in all the directions, and the planet now is black. That's because the sun is blocking the light. So let's select the sun, then select the static mesh here, and let's scroll until you find lightning here, lightning, and let's disable the cast shadows. There we go. Now this planet has all the shadows, but that's a problem because the directional light is actually directional, as the name says. So if we duplicate this planet and put to this side, the lightning will be wrong. It's coming for the wrong direction. It should be coming from this direction, so this mesh of the sun. So let's fix this by creating a material and a fake light. So let's go to materials and let's create a new folder for the planet. Let's open this folder, then let's create a new material. Let's name this planet. Let's open this one. Let me dock here to the side. Okay, so now we need to find a way of knowing in which direction the light is coming from. So as you remember, we put the sun mesh to be at the center of the world in the 0, 0, 0. So in the shader, we will be getting the light from this direction. To do this, we need an object position WS. Let's pick this one, absolute, and this will have the 0, 0, 0. So now I need to invert this, because if I don't invert, the light will be coming from the wrong direction here. So let's invert this with a 1- node, and now let's normalize, because I just want the direction of this. And now this will go to a dot product. So let's right click and search for dot product, and let's put this into the A slot. And for the B, this will be the vertex position of the sphere. To get that, let's search for vertex and let's get the vertex normal. Actually, it's not the vertex position, it's the vertex normal. This will be in the B. And now we have the mask here. This is all we need to do. So if I put this in the emissive color here, this is what we got. So if I apply here and save, let's right click and create a material instance for that. So create a material instance, gonna name this MI planet, and let's add this into these planets here. And as you can see, we have light coming from the sun direction. If I move this around, as you can see, we have light coming always from this direction. But we still have the light coming from the directional light. So for now, I'm gonna disable this by selecting the mesh, going to the static mesh. Let's go to the lightning here. Let's open the advanced of lighting here, the advanced tab. Let's open this and scroll down until you find lightning channels. Let's disable the 0 here. And there we go. Now this mesh is not affected by light. So if you're doing some gameplay with this, you need to enable and disable this wherever the player is in this planet or not. And of course you need to rotate the directional light to face the player all the time. But for now, let's only disable this. And as you can see, if I rotate the planet around the sun, the light will always come from the sun. Okay, so now let's add the color to the planet. So let's go to the material here. Let's hold 3 on the keyboard and left click to add a constant tree vector. Let's change this to a bluish color. And now to add the color, we just need to multiply this color with this mask and connect this to the emissive color. Let's apply and save. And there we go. Now we have the color coming from the sun, the lightning actually. And now we can clamp this mask. Let's just clamp this real quick. So let's push from the dot here and let's clamp. Let's put this into the B here, the multiplier, and nothing changes now because it's coming from 0 to 1 as before. But if you want, you can make some changes here in the minimum. We can put like 0.05, and this will add a little bit of light in the back portion of the planet, like so. And of course, you can make this more dark by decreasing this value. 0.005, let's apply and save. And there we go, it's not completely dark. And now we have everything to create the atmosphere. So let's do this. To create the atmosphere, I'm actually going to use the same sphere. So let's select this and duplicate it. Let me call this planet atmosphere. Of course, if you're doing this in a game, this will be in the same blueprint, in a planet blueprint, something like that. But for now, let's do this. And now I want to select this atmosphere and let's increase the scale. So let's maybe put 200 here. It's much, it's a lot. So let's put 105, 110. There we go, let's make this so we have the planet inside this and this outside. So this is where we're gonna put the atmosphere material. So let's go to the materials folder, let's create a new one for the atmosphere. Let's open this and let's create a material. Let's name M atmosphere. There we go. Now let's open this and let's change some things here. So first, the atmosphere will not be opaque. This needs to be translucent. So we have the opacity value here. So let's apply this and save. And first, let's go back to here and create a material instance. Let's create one. Let's name this MI atmosphere and let's put in this atmosphere object here so we can see what we are doing as we do. So let's go back to atmosphere here. And first I need to do something similar to the planet with the masking here to get the direction of the light. So let's do this, but this will be a little bit different. So first let's get the center of the world, so the object position here. Let's get this one, let's invert this with 1 minus, and then let's normalize. There we go. but I want the direction of the directional light as well. So to get that, let's right click and type sky atmosphere, and you find this node, sky atmosphere light direction. There we go. So now I need a way of changing between these two, so the fake light and the real light. To do that, let's use a switch, a static switch parameter. So let's add this node. I'm gonna call this fake light with a question mark at the end because this is a boolean. And there we go. So by default this will be turned off, so it's false. So when it's false, I'm gonna use the real directional light, and when it's true, I'm gonna use the fake one here. There you go. And as we did in the planet, this will go into a dot product. So let's add to a dot with the vertex normal. So let's add a vertex normal. There we go. And now we have the direction of the light with the fake light and the real light depending on this value here. So now we need to multiply this with a Fresnel node. So for the atmosphere, I'm gonna use a set of Fresnel to create the effect of one atmosphere. So let's comment this. Let's name this light mask. Let's comment like this, and let's put this in the emissive color here so we know what we're doing. So if I apply and save now, as you can see, this is using the real light. So if I change the direction of the light, as you can see, the portion that it is illuminated changes as well. Let me reset this, so go to directional light and put 0 in all the rotations here. There we go. Now let's multiply this with a Fresnel node. So to do this, let's first add a Fresnel node. So let's add Fresnel here, and let me put this in the emissive color here so you know what I mean. So let's apply and save. And this is the Fresnel node. So we have from the center here black, and as we go to the edges of the sphere, this becomes more white. So that's what I'll be using to create the atmosphere. So the first one here, I'm gonna use two Fresnels to smooth the edges of the atmosphere. So the first one, let's put the base reflection into 0.2, and for the exponential here, I'm gonna create a scalar parameter. So let's hold S on the keyboard and left click. Let's name this atmosphere. Add fade. And by default, I'm gonna put this in 2. Let's add in the exponential here. Now I want to invert this so it's white on the middle, and as we go to the edges it becomes more black. So let's just put one minus here, and I need to put this into a power node so we can control the density here. So for that I'm gonna use a scalar parameter as well. Let's name this atmosphere overall density. I'm going to default this to 5. Let's put in the exponential here. There we go. And now I need to multiply this with another set of Fresnel. So let's hold M on the keyboard and let's put this first one into the A here. And now we need a second set of Fresnel. So let's add another Fresnel here. And let's do only a power node. I'm not gonna invert this one, so it's a power node here. And let's add another scalar parameter. Hold S on the keyboard and left click, and let's add a atmosphere center density, and I'm gonna default this to 0.1. Let's put into exponential here, and this will go into the multiply. So basically I'm subtracting one from another to smooth the edges of the sphere. Let me put this into the emissive color here, and that's the results. So if I apply and save, we have a smooth edge like it's a atmosphere. So now what we need to do, we need to actually put this into the opacity here. So if I deselect this and put into the opacity here, as you can see, we have a very smooth sphere here in the viewport. But let's save, let's apply and save, and now we are seeing nothing. So that's alright, that's cool. Let's select this and let's comment, let's call this Fresnel and density. And of course we need to multiply these two together, because what let me add a color here so I can explain this better. So let's add a 3-vector constant here. Let me change this to a blue color here. Let me add this into the emissive. Let's apply and save. And there we go, we have a little bit of density around the planet. So what I want the lit part here, so the part that is facing the sun to have the atmosphere, and then the back part to not have the atmosphere. So we need to multiply these two together. So let's multiply this one with this one, and now we can put this into the opacity here. Let's apply and save. And now we have the atmosphere only coming from the lit part here. Okay, so let's control better the color of the atmosphere. So let's connect this one. Let's put this more to up here so we have some room. And what I want to convert this to a parameter. So let's right click and convert to parameter. This would be the main color. And now let's multiply this. So let's add a multiply node holding M and left click. Let's multiply this with a scalar parameter. So hold S and left click to add a scalar parameter. Let's name this main color intensity. There you go, let's put here, and for now let's put 1. And I'm going to create another set of colors here. Let's add another 3-vector here, holding 3 on the keyboard and left click. This I'm gonna put in a more dark blue, like this. And I'm gonna convert this into a parameter. Let's name this horizon color. And of course, let's multiply this with a scalar parameter for that. So let's add a scalar parameter here, and let's call this horizon color intensity. By default, I'm gonna put 1 here as well. Let's put here. And now I want to blend these two together. So let's add a lerp for that. So hold L on the keyboard and left click to add a lerp. Let's add the first one into the A, the second one into the B, and for the alpha I'm gonna use another Fresnel. So let's add down there a Fresnel node, and the exponential will be the color blend. So let's add another scalar parameter for that. Hold S on the keyboard and left click to add a scalar parameter. Let's name this color blend. By default this will be 2, and this is the exponential here. There you go. And the base here I'm gonna put at 0.2 as well. And now I want to clamp this so it don't go below 0 or above 1. Let's put this into the alpha here. And now let's multiply these results to a scalar parameter. This would be an atmosphere intensity. So this will be the intensity of the whole colors here. Let's multiply this with this intensity, and by default let's put 1 here just to see. And this is the color, so let's put into the emissive color. Let's apply and save. Let's come back here, and as you can see, we're not seeing the atmosphere. That's because we don't have intensity here. So let's go to the atmosphere material. Let's increase this. Let's put maybe 20. And as you can see, we have something appear into the viewport here. Let's apply and save. And as you can see, we have a little bit of atmosphere. Let's just increase a little bit of the size here of the sphere. So let's select the planet atmosphere. Let's put this in 120. There we go. And we have a little bit of the atmosphere. But we are not seeing the inside part, just the outside. So to do that, let's go to atmosphere and let's select this if you're not seeing these options here. And now let's check the two-sided. Let's enable this. Let's apply and save. And now we are seeing both parts of the atmosphere. If we go inside, we have a sky here, and of course we can go outside. Now what I want to do, as you can see, this is just a straight line here, and the atmosphere actually goes beyond the center here, so it goes a little bit to the darker side here. So to do that, let's go to the atmosphere here in the light mask. Let's just increase a little bit of this comet here, and for that we're gonna, from the dot here, let's just put all these nodes back here a little bit, and from the dot I'm gonna pass this into a smooth step node. Let's connect this. Let's connect the dot to the value here and the results into the multiply down there. And if we leave this as 0 and 1, if we apply this, nothing will be changed. There you go. We only smooth a little bit of this line here, but I want this to go a little bit beyond the darker part here. So in the smooth step, let's create a scalar parameter. Let's add one by holding S and let's click, and let's call this backlight fade. And by default, I'm gonna put minus 0.75. So I'm going to put below 0 a little bit. So let's put this into the minimum. And as you can see, it goes a little bit further into the darker part. Let's apply and save to see that. And as you can see, we have a little bit of atmosphere in the darker part. Of course, if you change this value to less, let's put like 2 so you can see. Let's apply and save. It's a little bit less, so you can play with this value. So let me put back again to 75. Let's apply and save. Let's select all this and let's create a comment. Let me name this colors. And there you go. This is basically the atmosphere that I created. And of course, you can play with the values. So let's open the material instance here. Let me put this to the side and let's come back to the level here so you can see the atmosphere. And here we have all these values, and of course you can put them into separate categories so it's better organized. But let's change the main color. So let's enable the main color, and of course if we change this, we change the main color of the atmosphere. Of course, if we are inside the atmosphere, this changes the sky color as well, of course. And let me just reset this, and of course the other values here, if you change the backlight fade, if you decrease more or increase this changes how much light is affecting the backside of the atmosphere here. As you can see, we have this control here. The atmosphere edge fade control how much sharp the edges of the sphere will be. So if I increase this, As you can see, it's a lot more sharp, and if I decrease this, the edge will be more smooth. We have the overall density here. To control the density, we have the intensity of the atmosphere. This is the intensity of the color. You have this here. Of course, you have the horizon colors here. So if I go up inside the atmosphere here, as you can see, the horizons is a little bit darker. This is that color. There we go. Let's come back here, and you have all these other parameters here. And of course, this is all with the main directional light. So if I select the atmosphere and the planet here, let me select these two, and if I rotate, the planet will change because it's using the fake light that we created, but the atmosphere will not change. So we need to open the material instance here and enable the fake light here. Let's enable the parameter and let's enable this. And there we go. Now let's just save this. And if we rotate the planet around the sun, as you can see, the light will be updated with the direction. And of course, if you're doing gameplay, if the player is in this planet, you need to disable all the fake light and enable the right light, the directional light, and you need to set the directional light to always face the player in this scenario. There we go. That's all for today's video, and of course, as I said in the beginning of the video, this is not a real atmosphere, it's not a physically based atmosphere, it's just a cool effect that I want to show you. So as you can see, I created a new atmosphere here, just another instance of the same material that we created, and I changed the values. Let's go inside the atmosphere here. There we go. And we have a cool effect with the planet. So if you do like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe so you don't lose any new content. And as always, thank you for watching, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.